Welcome to the Lectric Service Center in our temporary workshop. Today, we'll be showing you how to make an adjustment on your hydraulic disc brakes if they are rubbing, squeaking, or don't feel right when you're braking. Before we start, you're going to need to make sure that you have some tools handy. You will need isopropyl alcohol, a shop rag or paper towel, a T25 socket, a torque wrench, a stubby 5mm Allen wrench, and a crescent wrench. It is important to clean your crescent wrench with isopropyl alcohol before we begin to get rid of any grease or contaminants that may be on it. We recommend making this adjustment with your bike on a bike stand. This will make the adjustment a little bit easier and safer. First, you will want to spin the wheel you're working on and listen for any rubbing or squeaks. You will also want to look down at the caliper. You're looking for daylight on both sides of the brake rotor. To make it easier, you can use a white piece of paper, paper towel, flashlight, or anything that will make the gaps stand out better. As you can see here, there is not daylight on both sides of the rotor. If you do not see daylight on both sides of your rotor, or you hear rubbing, you'll need to take a few steps to diagnose the problem. We'll show you how to do that right now. Before we move on though, while you're down there, do a visual inspection on your brake pads. If they are worn down, you will need to replace those. First, check to make sure there is no play or wiggle on your rotor. If there is play, use a T25 to tighten it down to the recommended torque specs in your user's manual. Next, we'll need to check the hub for play by rocking the wheel back and forth. If your wheel moves at the hub, please take your bike to a bike shop to have the hub tightened before your next ride. Then, your rotor should be spinning straight when looking at it straight on. If it is not spinning straight, use your crescent wrench to gently bend it back into place until it is true. This can be a little bit tedious, so be patient. Please also note that if you use too much force, you might damage the rotor, so please be careful during this step. If you have completed all these steps and you still hear rubbing or don't see any daylight on both sides of the rotor, you may need to adjust your caliper. Loosen the two caliper mounting bolts with your stubby 5mm Allen wrench. Then, keep an eye out for daylight on both sides of the rotor and begin adjusting the caliper back and forth at the top in small movements until you either hear no rubbing or you see daylight on both sides of the rotor. Give the wheel a spin and make sure that this is still the same while the wheel is in motion. Please be careful not to get your fingers or tools stuck in the spokes while performing this step. Once you find the sweet spot, tighten the mounting bolts down. Make sure to tighten them to the recommended torque specs in your user's manual. If after completing all these steps, your brakes are still making noise or not working how you want them to, you may need to bring your bike to a bike shop to get your caliper mounting system looked at. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our customer support team at contact@lectricebikes.com or give us a call at 602-715-0907. Thanks for watching.